allegedly broke up my marriage. You're an awful person.
You're 24 years old. Why would I listen to you? Why would you be giving therapy and advice to people who clearly need it? It doesn't make any sense, Ari. This is a horrible idea.
You're listening to
unlicensed
therapy with Ari Mannis.
I can't tell a difference in the sound personally.
Yeah.
It's just these look cooler.
They look cooler, and boy, they sound great in these headphones too.
Yeah, but to an untrained ear, I can't tell the difference. But I think an audiophile, a purist, might listen to this and go, "These are better."
Well, who are those people?
Those aren't the people I want listening.
There's no sound stage on this pod. I can't hear like the timbre.
This mic is causing a buzz.
Is it?
And we don't know why.
Oh.
You hear it? Listen closely. You hear that?
Well, yeah.
But then when I stop, it's gone.
They say that's from the Big Bang.
Check.
Like there's a hum
1,
in the
2.
universe from the Big Bang.
That could be it. We don't know what it is, and there's a whole rat's nest here, and Tommy is a lazy little piglet.
Is there a rat's nest?
He's known about this problem for 2 days, hasn't fixed it.
There's come on, what are you gonna do? You see that clip?
2 days, Tommy.
You're in
You
charge
unmotivated piece of shit.
Last night, and then this morning I've been trying to fix it.
You could have gotten here an hour early. You could have gone, okay, I know about the problem. I need to go in and fix it. Let me plan it out. Oh, it's my first week there. Let me try and do something so they go, oh, wow, Tommy's good. Instead they go, oh, Tommy kind of does the bare minimum, huh? You fucking loser.
So you're in charge of rats in your first day?
Already.
Mm.
Too soon.
Too soon. That's what I say. Do you see that clip at Popeyes where there's rats in the Popeyes?
No, but I love Popeyes.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't want to watch it.
Well, it didn't change it for me. I mean, I'm still going to eat there. It's just one Popeyes where there's like 10 rats that lived in the Popeyes.
Also, rats have this very negative stigma, but rats are everywhere. Rats are creatures of God.
And they never did anything to me.
Yeah, God made those things.
Did he, though?
Of course, God made us all. Rats.
I was taught that the
humans.
devil made some stuff.
What did the devil make?
Oh, like they're before
Sinners?
Adam and Eve sinned, there wasn't any mosquitoes.
Is that true? They taught you that in Bible school?
That's what I was, for some reason, I don't know if, I remember thinking that when I was 5. I think some adult told me that. I don't know who. But
I think they told you that because they're a bully.
Maybe.
Influenced by the devil themselves. Are you a Christian?
Yes.
Thank God. Thank God. I don't want any freaking non-believers in here. This is a God-loving podcast. That's just how I feel.
Dude,
Other podcasts can book whoever they want. Jews, if they want. I don't book those kind of people. Not in here. No atheists. You got to believe in Jesus and the Holy Trinity.
Oh, wow. So very strict.
Podcast.
Good Lord. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
And sometimes listen, I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. I've thought someone was a good Christian boy, and then they come in here and I find out they're a heathen. But I'm glad to find out. What's the Riot comedy show on your hat?
Oh, it's a great little club in Houston that I did, and they gave me a free hat.
I like the way it fits your head.
Me too. I love a good trucker hat. Keeps my head nice and cool.
But I like that's what I mean. It's got to be a good trucker hat because I get a lot of free hats in my life. Not to brag, but I got a free hat. I'll be honest. I got 2 free hats in the last week.
Oh, what'd you get?
I got a Buffalo Bills hat.
Ooh,
from a Buffalo Bills player.
That's a good hat.
Yeah, I'll brag right there. From a real Buffalo Bills player.
Well, who was it?
His name's Harrison Phillips.
That sounds like a player.
Really good guy, Christian. and he gave me his hat and a signed football. The football's dope. It's right now. It's on my my dresser under the TV, just on display for the world. Whoever's in my room. The hat, I'm not gonna lie, I will never wear it. It doesn't fit my head right. It's not a good fit. It's cool though. I don't know. I don't want to throw it out. Maybe I want to give it to someone.
Well, some hats are nice just to have as a decoration.
Yeah, so it's on my hat rack, but
yeah,
it's
a lot of
sit there for
podcasts have
years.
like a bunch of stuff like that. They'll have hats.
I should do that.
And shoes.
This studio is now a lot of podcasts are using it, so
nice.
I'm gonna probably get a new one pretty soon, and then I'll build the hat rack.
Dude,
in that new one.
It's great that that's like our goals, and like my goal is to have a cool hat rack at my podcast studio.
You could do it.
I gave up on having a house, but it's like maybe I'll have a hat rack.
You and Dave
Yeah.
have a podcast at this office in Koreatown. So you're each splitting the cost $250 a month.
Yeah.
To rent this little office.
Yeah, and it's
That's
like
cool.
I got to tell you, I never
You're going
thought
for
having
it.
an office would feel so rewarding.
Yeah, you go there. It's like a safe place to go do work and hang and
Yeah.
chill. It's nice.
Oh, it makes you feel like such an adult. Literally did not feel like an adult till I had an office. Like I'm sure this office feels like having a fridge where you're like, ooh, I'll get a.
Yeah.
That's such a cool.
Oh, by the way,
feeling.
do you want anything to drink?
Oh man, you know the only thing I drink is liquid death, dog.
Hey, Tommy, I'm sorry to bother you. Can we get a couple of liquid deaths on
Oh
here?
hell yeah, liquid death. Try it out.
You want sparkling or still?
Oh, sparkling. What am
Okay,
I? Pour?
One sparkling, one still, please.
Oh, you like the still?
I like the still. The bubbles, they make me belch a little bit.
Me
Make my
too.
stomach a little gassy.
But that keeps me on my toes. That makes me a better riffer when I got the.
It's a good call.
When I got the essence. Inside.
Yesterday I was
Oh, hell
making
yeah.
out with a female.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, hell yeah.
Thank you. Cheers.
Giving
to
her a
that.
little of that
Cheers to
liquid
that.
death.
But I kept having, like, I don't know if it was stomach issues, but I kept, as we're kissing, like, having to turn to the side and, like, let air out of my mouth.
Dude, that
And it
happens
was,
most of the time.
made me very self-conscious about myself in that moment. I'm like, she must be thinking, like, what's going on with this guy?
Well, she thinks that you're so overcome with emotion and passion that you have to break off every once in a while.
That's it.
Yeah, I think they appreciate.
Do you
that.
have a girlfriend?
I do,
I knew it.
dude.
You got everything. You got your life together. You're a Christian. You got a cool hat.
I got-
You freaking got an office. You got a girlfriend. You got it all. Dude.
I don't have a house
Fuck
or a
you,
car though.
man.
That's
Fuck
a
you.
bummer.
You will.
Maybe.
I think you're probably about to sell probably 2 to 3 TV shows
Hey, I'm hoping.
or a script, a movie script.
Man, this is the best podcast I've ever been on. There's so much positivity. We're drinking our death. I'm selling shit.
I think we've only met one time, right?
Dude, do you remember when we met?
In New York.
And when someone dumped a drink on your head?
Oh, it was one of the worst nights ever. And I was on a date that night too.
What?
A first date.
Dude.
She was at the show.
That's
Pretty unforgettable though for me.
Dude, I'll never
That's the
forget
heckler
it.
story.
I remember that dude's face. Oh
And I
my
remember
god.
his wife's face.
Yeah, that really stuck with me. That was like, I'm not saying traumatic, but it was something. It was something like that.
It was just like, it's one of those things where I know I have nothing to be embarrassed about, but it is embarrassing.
Embarrassing, but it's also a badge of honor. That's like a cool, like Bill Hicks type story. It's like, man, I was there when a man dumped a drink on Ari's head. Like, that's cool. I tell that
Yeah.
story all the time.
You do?
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
I think it's badass. You were pushing the buttons that night, and
Every night.
fearless. That was great. I don't even remember what'd you say that made him mad. Do you remember?
I did a joke about how teachers shouldn't be paid any more than they. His wife didn't like it, so his wife heckled me. And then from
right.
stage, I responded, and I'll admit I probably shouldn't have responded this way, but his wife. I tried not to. His wife heckled me. I tried doing like a friendly, like, "Okay,
Right,
shut up."
right.
She heckled me again, and then I like unleashed on her. I overreacted and was like, "You're a fucking dumb bitch," and blah blah. Like I cussed her out from stage,
Well,
and the crowd was on my side.
they
in my
were.
defense.
that was a very
but-
anti-teacher crowd.
Yeah. Or I think they were just a pro comedy crowd. Because
Yeah.
I'm not an anti-teacher guy. I don't believe everything I say.
No.
I believe in nothing I say, really.
What world would people believing jokes?
I don't know
It's-
anything.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking idiot.
Do you still do that bit?
I do on the road, yeah.
Oh wow. Has that ever gotten a reaction like that again?
No. I've been doing that bit for
Wow.
2 or 3 years. It's never, and it's,
And that was such a nice show, nice venue. Like it was so bizarre that there was so much anger.
and I was having a good set.
Yeah, it was
I'd
going
be
great.
I'd be the first to admit if I bomb. I bomb all the time. That set I was not bomb. I was doing very well. And she ruined it. And then her
She
husband
did.
ruined it even more.
And I think part of him had to know, oh, she's ruining something again. But last time she ruined something, she got even madder at me for not defending her. So I love her. I'm going to have to defend her while she ruins this show.
I punched him in the stomach and choked him from the front like that.
Wait,
Do you remember that?
what?
You don't remember that?
I just remember a scuffle. I don't remember that specific. I just remember him pouring it on your head.
He poured it on my head, and then in my head, I'm like, great. I have to fight this guy or I'm a little bitch boy. I'm like, great. Because I am a little bitch boy, but I was like,
Oh, me too.
But I was like, fuck, now I have to hit this guy. Everyone in New York is going to think I'm a little pussy California boy.
Right, right.
So I punched him in the stomach,
That's prison rules.
and then I started choking him from the front like that, and security broke it up pretty instantaneously.
Oh Oh my god.
And they kicked him. Oh, and I took his hat off his head.
Oh, nice hat.
And I don't think so. I mean, it was like you could tell it was a nice hat, but I didn't like it.
Okay. It would be
didn't like
funny
the
if
way
that
it
was
fit.
hanging on the wall. You're like, I still got this shit.
I should, in retrospect, I should have kept the hat. But so I took his hat. As he's getting kicked out, he goes, "That guy has my hat." And then security came up to me and was like, "Do you have his hat?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I gave.
You
gave
poured
him
a
the
drink
hat.
on my head.
Yeah, yeah,
So I get to me, that's even. I take your hat, you poured a drink on my head.
yeah. And then I also felt really bad, so I stormed out. The girl who I was on a first date with followed me to a bar.
That was a first date?
First, she had seen me at Caroline's like a few days prior to that, and she was like, let's hang out." And I was down, but I was in New York for the first time, so I was like, well, I have all these shows
That was your
lined up.
first time? This story is just like
First
the
time doing it for
layers.
comedy. First time for comedy.
Still, that's your
First
first
and only
trip.
time. I haven't been back.
That's
Yeah.
your life. So,
Yeah.
your one comedy
And that was
trip
my
to New
last
York,
show
you
in New York,
choked a
too.
man.
That was the last show I had booked, too, on the docket.
Oh, you could. Oh man, you were
I'm
so close.
I'm friends with McCullough. So
Yeah. McCall's great.
when I was, so not only am I have all these like emotions of anger and adrenaline from the set and from the fight and embarrassment because I was on a first date with this girl and I
my
was in front of
God.
all these comics I didn't know. So I'm at the bar like cooling off. And then I have this guilt feeling because I'm like, shit, what if I just got McCullough's show canceled? You know what I
Oh
mean?
my
Like a
God.
fight broke out and I was offensive. And so now I'm like texting McCullough, I'm like, I'm so sorry I hit that guy. Blah, blah, blah.
But
I
were you
shouldn't have
though?
done
Were
that.
you sorry? Didn't he kind of deserve that?
I mean, I wasn't sorry for hitting him. I was sorry for
Right,
McCullough.
right.
So she was like, "Don't worry about it. I'm just glad you're not in jail." Blah blah. So,
dude, that is legendary. Your first trip to New York. First
and it
date.
was like a lot of comics I look up to in the room. It was
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
You, Brenton. I
feel
think
like
Chris
Chris Redd was there, yeah.
And I knew Chris and Brenton a little bit, but I don't know. It was just like this awkward thing where I'm like, "Fuck,
yeah.
it's not the best look."
But that's your first trip. It's like, okay, what's this guy like? And that's not what people think of with a typical LA comedian. I think you gave us a good name.
A lot of people say I have like East Coast vibes.
Yeah, when I saw you choking that guy, I was like, this guy is from New Jersey.
But yeah, I'm just a SoCal boy
Yeah,
who
yeah.
gets naughty.
I didn't know you were from San Diego. Mm-hmm. Isn't that the happiest city in the world?
Is it? I believe it.
That's what I hear.
I didn't ever heard that, but it's like I've never heard anyone from San Diego who speaks badly of San Diego. I've never heard anyone who's lived in San Diego that's like, San Diego sucks. I've never heard it once.
Yeah, I can't think
LA,
of
you
anything.
hear it all the time.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like you want someone to go like, I know it sucks, but I like it. Like you can't just go, oh, LA's great. I don't see any problems. Like no one can
I
do
used
that.
to like it.
You don't like it anymore?
I don't like it since COVID. It's gotten too liberal. It's always been really liberal, but now it's like shoved down your throat. Like, wear a mask, you're evil.
Yeah, the mask
Do
stuff
this.
is a little. I was taking the bus, and you know what a New York, not New York. What
You take
LA
the bus in
is
LA?
Like? Oh,
Do you
yeah.
have a car?
No car.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
How'd you get here just now?
I walked.
Oh, so you can't even take Liquid Death home. I was going to give you a whole box of Liquid Death. We have too much
I'll
of
probably
it.
take an Uber home, but I walked from here from my girlfriend's place. It's really close.
Oh, where's your girlfriend live?
She lives, you know where Barloo Bitch is?
Yeah.
Yeah, around there.
Oh, not too far. Does
Yeah,
she have
yeah.
any friends for me?
Does she have any? Well, she has friends, but they all like to watch a man fight and choke guys. So
Perfect.
you're in good luck.
Yeah.
No, but I was on a
I'll
bus. and
change my whole point of view on life for a lady.
Oh, that's all I do.
Yeah.
That's all I do.
Sorry, I interrupted
Wait
you.
till I date a Muslim lady. So I was on a bus and I literally did like this. Like I pulled my mask down to take a sip. The bus driver screamed at me.
Put your mask on.
Yeah. And I was like, not for a sip? Like on the plane, you can take a sip.
Yeah. And anywhere.
Oh, I felt so humiliated. It was the most trouble I've ever felt like I was in since
Yeah, you don't
want
want to get kicked off the bus.
Oh, and people looked at me.
You need that ride. You don't have a car. You don't want
Right.
to take a $20 Uber.
And it's like, oh, I'm already on the bus. It's already like everyone on the bus is like ashamed they're on there.
I'm not going to lie. I'm too much of a snob to drive the LA buses.
Well,
There's too many crackheads on there. There's like a guy sitting next to you that's like shaking and like
oh, it's insane.
smells bad, not wearing shoes, and he's just right next to you, like looking at you, and you're like, why am I here?
Yeah. And then you're like looking at your jokes like, oh boy.
I don't have any jokes, so I don't have that problem.
Oh man, is
Doing that.
that the worst heckler interaction you've ever had?
It's at least, I mean, it's the only fight I've ever been in. It's the last fight I was in now to this day. It's the only fight I've ever been in from stand-up.
Whoa, I can't believe I got to witness all this.
Physical fight.
Yeah.
I've had other, I've had equal people who stand up and get mad a couple of times, maybe like 3 times throughout the 10 years I've been doing it. And then I've had people come up to me after the show who are crying and are like, your joke about rape offended me, blah, blah, blah.
Oh boy.
Things like that.
You choke them.
Yeah. I hold them down and teach them a lesson. No, I remember it's always someone who, whenever someone's offended, they're not actually listening to the joke. They hear trigger words every time. Not one person who's been offended at me has been able to tell me what my joke is or why they were offended.
Right.
They've just been like, you can't talk about that. Mm-hmm. That's it. So it's all bullshit.
Yeah, I mean they're all 100%. Like, here's what always drives me nuts: when you get heckled, it's not just like they're a great person who happens to heckle. They have nothing but flaws. They're also stupid. They're impulsive. They're unpredictable. They're the worst person in their group of friends. There's no one worse than them at that table, and all their friends know it. So it's like, of course they're going to misunderstand. They're a moron.
This last week, a guy got kicked out of a show I was on for laughing too much and clapping too much. You ever seen that before?
Oh yeah. Well, sometimes it's so obnoxious where it's like, this is so much it feels like you're fucking with me and it's hurting my feelings.
It felt a little like that, but it was genuine. He was genuinely having the best time in the room.
Oh boy.
To the max, to the point where I was featuring, so I was doing 20, 25, and I noticed him. I even said a comment like, this guy's laugh, huh? I got like a little chuckle.
Yeah.
And then the headliner was up, and maybe a quarter of the way through the headliner set, he's like, you need to leave, man. You're ruining the show for me. Like, you're fucking with my set, and the people around you hate you.
Yeah,
And the whole audience cheered. And as the guy who was having the most fun in the room got kicked out. But I get it from both sides. And the guy DM'd me, and the headliner was like, "Thank you for ruining my night. You embarrassed me in front of 2,000 people. This was horrible."
No, you embarrassed you.
But yeah, in our heads, it's like, well, you got to have a little self-awareness
Yeah.
too. If after every joke, you're laughing and no one else around you is still laughing.
Yeah. Where's
Come
your
on,
shame?
behave a little
Where's
bit.
your guilt? What kind of life have you got?
And I'm not going to say this is why, but it just so happens to be another fact. The story of the guy was Indian.
Well, maybe
And
culturally.
I don't think that's why. I'm not saying Indian people laugh louder and more annoying, but this guy happened to.
This guy did.
And
Yeah.
he was Indian.
So, write that one down. See if you get. See if the list
In
gets
case-
any longer.
In case
If not,
you
then,
guys have a story
you're out
similar
of-
to this down the road, and they're also Indian, we could start keeping a tally. Or
See.
if they're another race, we can keep a tally of that.
I got to
good to
tell you,
keep-
I've never had a problem with an Indian, so that's the first one, and I'll remember.
It's
I'll let
good
you know
to
if I do.
keep a tally of those kind of things and keep those kind of stats. It's good.
I keep a list of every interaction.
It's the
just to be
opposite.
safe.
It's to prove that you're not racist.
Yeah, I love having a list of minorities.
All races, really. Anytime you have an experience like the lady who heckled me, she was white.
Write that down.
She was a white lady. Her husband was also white. So it can happen from any race.
Well, I
But
will
this time
say
it happened from an Indian
the
guy.
heckler I want to happen the least is the white lady, because that, and it's also seems to be the most common, is the white lady. I mean, I would say
Karens of the world.
more than half of them. It's a white lady, usually of a certain age too.
Yeah, she's like in her 40s.
Yeah. That something is bubbling over with the 40-year-old white ladies. I don't know what it is, what happened.
Maybe it's their body's last couple of years to be able to nurture children in their womb. That's all I can think of. And then that causes a lot of stress and anguish in their life. That's all I could think of.
Maybe. I don't know what it is. Or maybe we're just horrible men who are, but it's also like, wouldn't I get heckled?
I'm not horrible. I love God.
Hey, he's great. But white women, there's something, and not all white women, but I would,
What
half
percentage of white women do you think are awful?
well, I would say 9 out of 10 people
Are awful.
I would like nothing to do with.
I agree with you. And I'll say this. I remember, so the one time meeting you, I remember, because I don't want to have to do with people either, but you had a really like warm, real energy, no phoniness to you. I could be wrong. I might be bad at judging people. but I feel like you're just a real life guy.
Well, you know, I'm a dumb little guy from Georgia, and
What city in Georgia?
Royston. That's
Never
where I
heard of
grew
it.
up. It's
Never heard
like
of it.
out. You know where UGA's at? Athens, Georgia, where REM's from. It's
A lot
nearby.
of good bands from Athens.
Yeah, yeah, great. It's the best music town ever. And
Well, I don't know about that.
you know, it's the best music town I knew about when I
What
was
about
15.
Nashville?
Better.
What
Nashville's
about
better.
Tijuana, Mexico?
I've never been to Mexico, but I've never
You
heard.
never been to Mexico?
No.
Oh, you'd love it, dude. Take
I
your
bet I
girlfriend on
would.
a trip.
I love margaritas. I love
Tacos,
yeah.
hard workers.
When Ted Cruz got busted going there, I was like, man, fuck Ted Cruz. And I was also like, that is what I would
Wait,
do.
I didn't hear about this. What Ted Cruz?
It was the middle of the Texas power outage, like the whole state lost power, and they literally found him flying to Cancun.
Just so he could have power and like chill out. But is he not allowed? Why is that a bad thing?
It's just
that he
bad
did that?
look for a politician to be like abandoning his state for margaritas that day. So just optically, it's a bad. And he also had his mask at the airport had the Texas flag on it. It's just funny. Like everything about it was funny.
Yeah. I mean, why can't a politician allow a vacation?
No, I agree, but it's also just Ted Cruz is already like everybody's already dialed 911 on him. Everybody just hates him because he's makes you very itchy just to listen to. So it's like any excuse to hate him. But it's
Yeah.
also like, man, I want to go to Mexico and drink margs.
Why don't you?
I don't know. I still
It's fairly cheap. It's
I didn't know
fairly
I was
close.
allowed.
It's fairly close. It's fairly cheap. You have a girlfriend to go with,
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
won't be lonely.
That's true.
You guys gotta go.
Did you go? I bet you went a lot being in San Diego because it's like
All the time.
So like,
I
what is
still
it,
go
2
all the time.
miles?
I mean, from my parents' house, it's a solid 45-minute drive, but still, we'd go all the
That's
time.
great. And you need a passport?
Now you do.
Hmm.
Back when I was a kid, you didn't. It was just kind of free for all. But now they
Wow.
check your shit.
Why? What happened to us? Why we used to just be able to go to Canada and Mexico and no passport, just have a good time?
I think that there was a lot of illegal immigration in
Yeah.
San Diego. There were a lot of illegal migrant workers in the fields that were coming over from Mexico. As Trump would say, it's the undesirables. And there had to be some sort of regulation. I mean, think about it. If they were doing great, they're not going to come over to America illegally. If they're doing good in Mexico, so it's all the people that failed in Mexico.
yeah.
They're like, oh, I'll go to America and work for lower than minimum wage.
What's it like there? Is there like in my head, you think about America. America's a lot of just gas stations and stuff like that.
In America?
Like, what's it like in Mexico? Is it just like that, where it's like there's a guy with drinking a Mountain Dew, eating a Slim Jim, walking down the street?
Tijuana's kind of like that, but a little
Yeah.
dirtier. The roads are a little worse, more potholes.
Boy, the
Even
roads
though
in LA are
California,
shit.
yeah, and the roads in SoCal are shit too, but Mexico's even worse roads.
Wow.
It's like a more rundown SoCal.
Wow. Well,
And
I can't
SoCal's
wait.
pretty run down.
And you're like, go with your girlfriend.
Oh, but let me tell you something. You live like a king because everything's cheap.
Really? Okay.
The food is amazing. The food's incredible. The drinks are incredible.
Hell yeah.
The beaches are incredible. You have a girlfriend, but the prostitution's incredible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of it's incredible.
Is it legal there?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. Who just
Why don't
walked in
people
here?
ever talk about that? Everybody's like, ooh, Las Vegas, Amsterdam.
Who
those
walked
are
in here?
so
Is that
far-
Abby?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Las Vegas, Amsterdam.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't even know. Is it legal in Vegas? Or is that just
There's
something
so
from movies?
outside of in Nevada, there are legal brothels, but they're very expensive, and most of the women are also undesirable.
Wow.
But in Mexico, $100. Go with your girl. I brought my girlfriend to the brothel once in Tijuana.
What?
Yeah, my ex-girlfriend. I don't have a girlfriend now,
Hey,
but we didn't break up because of that.
that's
We broke
some
up
taxi driver shit. Hey,
and
babe, let's go to the brothel.
We also didn't get a girl. We just went and checked it out.
Just as like a tourist, like, do they get mad? Like, you're like, oh, you got to buy something.
It's like a strip club / brothel, so you can
Okay.
go. You can get a drink. You could throw some ones around. You don't need to go there and get a room upstairs.
Why is brothel such a? Is it the word broth in there that makes it so like brothel?
I think it's just society creating a taboo around
Yeah.
sex and sex for money.
Yeah, because that's a bad. It needs to be rebranded. Not brothel. Just sounds so like medieval and like
What would you call it?
unsanitary. Call it a fun place.
Yeah, it's fun.
At least strip club sounds like happening. Hey,
I won't
it's a
tell your
strip club.
girlfriend you said that.
Hey, well, she'll listen to this and.
What is the concept of your podcast? Let's promote that.
So my podcast is me and my buddy Dave Ross, and we were like, what if we have the dumbest podcast ever?
How'd you guys meet?
We met in Atlanta when I was the resident. The Laughing Skull in Atlanta, you would host every show for a whole month.
Wow.
And eat chicken wings, and that was your payment.
And you hosted the whole time.
Yeah, so I'd host like 30
They
shows.
never
that
were
month.
like, hey, you could do a spot this time. You're hosting every single
Hosted
show.
every show.
So
The
kinda
system's
rough.
different now, but this is back
Yeah.
in like 2012, and
Okay.
Dave Ross was in town featuring, and we both really loved smoking cigarettes, and so we would hang out all day at Starbucks, and we just write jokes and smoke. We just immediately became buddies, and then he was always like, when we were hanging out in LA after I moved here, he was always just like, man, every time I talk to you, you say the craziest shit that I'm like, where did you grow up and what time? And like, what? Because I was homeschooled and from the South. My dad's a
You
preacher.
were homeschooled?
Oh, yeah.
Your dad's a preacher? Oh, you're one of the good ones.
Yeah, I'm one of the good ones. And so I always just say stuff, and he's just like, what the fuck? And he's like, I should do a podcast where I interview you, and you're the only guest. Like, I just interview you every week because there's no, it's like Mark Maron, but just you.
Yeah.
And so we thought that'd be a funny prank podcast, like once a month, Dave interviews Caleb. But then we had a lot of fun, and it's just stupid. And then we rename stuff, and people email us like, rename my dog, and we'll rename it, and then we'll be like, hey, this week we're renaming Freebird, and it's the dumbest shit.
And now
ever.
we moved from once a month to once a week.
Yeah, now it's weekly, and it's just stupid renaming stuff.
So you guys just hit it off as a
Yeah,
podcast
yeah.
couple.
Yeah, and it's super
You
fun.
guys
But
And you don't have any guests on. It's just
not
you two.
yet. We're thinking
Thinking
about
about
it, but
maybe
we
doing
started
it.
it in the middle of COVID, so there was no possibility.
Oh,
of
you guys
even-
believe in that kind of thing.
Well, we couldn't find anyone who wanted to be near us. So
But see, that's why I hate LA. That's exactly it. There was people you'd call to hang out, and they'd be like,
Right.
I'm just not hanging out with people right now. And you're like,
yeah, the only guest we
fucking
could have gotten would have
pussy.
been like Jim Brewer and Tim Allen, and we
Those
don't know
are
how to get
great
in touch
guests.
with them. They wouldn't return our DMs.
yeah, hit
Yeah.
up their
All the
teams. Is
All-
Jim Brewer and Tim Allen both like anti-maskers?
yeah, they're both like Fauci ouchie kind of right a sinner.
I didn't even know that. They're both awesome. Those are both killer guys. Killer comics.
Jim Brewer's the funniest to me because he's got that pothead image, and he's like Jim Brewer, but then he's also just like, I don't know. It's like an odd
conspiracy theory right-wing guy.
right-wing potheads always kind of fascinate me. I just think that's an interesting kind of person. Where it's like you're smoking weed, you're reading the Constitution, that's. I'm
The way it should be is what you're saying. That's what you said.
Weed seems like such a counterculture, lefty,
Were you
Bob Marley thing.
Were you homeschooled your whole life?
No, just the important first few years.
Just elementary school?
Yeah.
So middle school, you went to a public school?
No, when did I
Or
go?
regular school?
I think I was only homeschooled for 3 years. I started public school in the second grade.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah. So I
Did
got
you
a little.
feel like a weirdo?
Not really. I was too dumb to.
You're too young. And
Yeah, I was
doing
just
that.
like, hey, cool. Like, it didn't occur to me that I was being made fun of. Like, I didn't even understand.
You were?
What was, oh, yeah.
For what?
Oh, everything. I didn't know. I didn't know what was happening. Like, people were trying to. How kids will always make fun of your name or make fun. And I didn't know. I was like, people are talking to me. This is great. Hey.
But now you got a girlfriend. So
Now I
look
got a
who's
girlfriend.
laughing now.
She makes fun of me all the time.
How'd you guys meet? You and your girlfriend?
We met doing comedy.
Oh, she's
met
a
her in
comic?
Atlanta. Yeah.
Dang.
That's how.
Shit
And
where you
that's what
eat,
people
huh?
say. They say date a comedian.
Yeah.
Always works.
And have you dated any other comedians, or is this the first time?
No.
dipping into the
I
comic
think
field?
typically I think it would be a mistake, but I really liked her and she really liked me. I was like, well, let's see if this, and then it worked out good.
How long you guys been going out for?
3 years.
Whoa.
Yeah, isn't
Oh,
that
you guys
crazy?
are probably gonna get married and be the next Tom Segura, Christina P.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna turn into a real piece of shit.
No,
She's
they're
gonna
good
stay
guys.
hot. No, he actually looks good now.
Yeah, he lost weight.
Yeah, he
he
looks
has
great.
a trimmed beard.
Yeah, he
Makes
looks
tons,
younger.
and he makes tons of money.
Oh my god, he's so rich.
He could be as fat as he wants with that kind of money.
I guess so, but like, it is weird. Like,
If
like
your
people
wife's
feel
like, "Hey,
betrayed.
your body's kind of gross," you just throw $1,000 at her. You're like, "I think my body's fine." She's like, "Yeah, it is."
That would be nice. I would love to not care about $1,000. How cool is that?
How much is your net worth?
Oh man, it's got to be less than zero.
You're in debt?
Oh yeah, I went
Really?
to college.
You haven't paid yet, but you're like 30, right?
Yeah, but
old are you?
I've been a comic for 10 years. I didn't make any money.
You haven't paid off your college debt?
No. This year's the first year I'm like, oh, I've made some money this year. So it's like, I'll probably pay it off soon, but it's just like,
wonder-
dude, I made negative money for
If
so many
you
years.
don't pay it for 10 years, does it go away or no?
No, they changed that law.
They did.
Yeah, now it's just a forever debt,
Damn.
Yeah, it's a real bummer.
Well,
but
you're going to sell probably 2 to 3 TV shows. And the
that's
movie
what I've been
script.
saying.
Yeah.
I'm going to sell a bunch of shows. I'm going to be the next Gerard Carmichael.
I think, no, I don't know
People
if you'll
say that.
sell, you probably won't sell as many as him because of your skin color, but you'll still sell some.
People do think I'm not a white guy a lot.
Really? What do they think you are?
Oh, I've heard everything. A lot. I think the most common is people.
Armenian.
Yeah, I hear that one a lot. Lebanon.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant to say.
I open for Kenny G, and I go in the green room, and Kenny
Kenny G's
in
a
there.
saxophone player?
Yeah.
What? How does this come about?
It was a Sunday. I just wake up. My manager calls me. She's laughing as
she's
I pick
asking.
up, and he goes, "You want to open for Kenny G tonight?" And I was like, "Yeah." And it was just here in it was like in Thousand Oaks. It was a little outside of LA.
Wow.
And I get in the green room. He just points at me and goes, "Afghanistan?" And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Me and the guys are watching you on YouTube. We're like trying to figure out which country you're from." And I bet on Afghanistan. And I was like, "Man, I'm just the Irish guy from the South." And he
Yeah.
was like, "Shit."
Dang. Did you have any little part of you that wanted to just nod your head and say, yeah, Afghanistan?
I think I would now. I would lie because it would be funny to have Kenny G walking around playing a saxophone, thinking that Afghanistan comic was
What
great.
was that like opening up for Kenny G? Was it a good crowd? Did you walk up and that was fun? Or-
Everything about it was amazing. His show was shockingly good.
Oh, I bet.
Like it's a
He's talented.
very upbeat. Like it's not a bunch of sleepy ballads. It's like,
Yeah.
and he has something to prove. He's like, I'm gonna fucking rock shit in this. Like he really feels that like need to be like, no, I'm not what you think.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of jokes. I mean, he had more jokes than I've seen. Like someone.
Oh,
who's-
is he? It's a comedy show, not just music.
Oh, I mean, well, it's mostly music, but he after in between
But he's
every
just a funny
song,
guy.
funny
Yeah.
shit.
He's like Blink 182 kind of.
I've never seen Blink live.
But they did music videos where they ran around and naked. They're goofballs.
Okay,
They have the song "Shit Piss Cunt Fuck Cocksucker Motherfucker."
they do.
Yeah, they have a song where they just cuss the whole time. Like
Oh, that's great.
they like to push buttons.
Oh, I love that. I gotta check
Yeah.
him out. But I was amazed that he was, and he was so nice and very cool, and yeah, everything about him was just like, damn, this is not what I thought. Like my mom's CD that she had of your shit, I hated it, and I was like, this is like smooth jazz elevator shit.
Did you tell your mom that you're opening for?
Yeah, they couldn't believe it.
That's so cool.
They couldn't believe it. It was great. But yeah, he was for sure that I was
You'd
from
think I
Afghanistan.
would have heard about this.
I mean, I posted about it
Damn.
in 2018.
I muted every comedian. It's healthier. Keep them all muted.
Oh man, I've been on a mutant spree.
Yeah.
I used to think if I muted a comic, they would knock on my door 10 seconds later
They
and
don't
punch
even.
me in
They
the
can't
face.
know.
But yeah, they didn't know. I've been muting, and even if something is just slightly rubbing me the wrong way, even if I like them a lot, I'm just like, I don't like your Instagram very much.
I just don't need to see your poster.
No,
And I get it. I post posters, but
right?
I don't need to see. It's not for me.
No,
So might as well mute.
it's literally like if you worked, like we're comedians and we work in this business, but like I wouldn't follow, like when I worked at Jimmy John's, I didn't follow all of them and look, hey, what's your schedule? Oh,
You
they're
didn't?
posting their schedule.
You
Who
didn't?
gives a shit?
Oh, right. But
It's
you
just the-
you probably felt you worked at Jimmy John's.
Oh yeah,
That's cool.
that was not cool.
My friend Theo is friends with Jimmy John.
The actual Jimmy John?
Jimmy John's a billionaire,
Yeah, good lord. Of course
an
he
actual
is.
billionaire. Not you'd think. In my head, the guy who started Jimmy John, I'd be like, oh, he's probably worth like 300 mil,
Yeah.
billion.
Wow. But it's
That's
like,
crazy.
I guess it makes sense because they really run that operation like, our sandwiches, we used to have a shift sandwich for free.
Oh,
Then
nice.
it went to like, 75% off.
You didn't get a free sandwich.
Then it went to half off. Then it went to 25% off. Then it went to like you got a quarter off. And then they just weren't free anymore. Then they just became like, you can have a sandwich here if you want, but pay full price. And
when you worked at Jimmy John's, you had to pay full price for a sandwich.
yes.
I'm sure no one followed the rule, but that's ridiculous.
Oh, dude, it was a wild. And then they also did this thing.
That's
with your,
asking your employees to like fuck you over.
yes,
Yeah.
and they also had this thing where if they booked you 4 to close, and the store closed at 9, the computer would clock you out at 9. So when you're sweeping up for 20 minutes, you didn't get paid for that. So they like found ways to skim. So I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm sure they made so much money.
There you go.
Yeah.
You guys didn't. You heard the interview with Jimmy John. You're thinking what a great guy he is. There's a darkness in there.
Well, I don't know if those were his decisions, but you don't get
Doesn't
$1 billion.
matter. Doesn't matter if they're his decision or not. It's his company and he's responsible. That's what
But-
you don't. You know what? It's like earlier this year, one of the employees here uploaded a raw audio of a podcast in here where someone said the gay F word
Oh no.
because we edited it out, but they uploaded the wrong file. That guy got canceled.
Oh no.
It wasn't me. I didn't do it. It was someone I hired,
Oh no.
but it's my fault.
I mean, I guess, but
It's my company. It's my fault.
you can pass the blame on a little bit.
Yeah, and I do. I try, but at the end of the day,
Well,
I'm
there's nothing better
responsible.
than taking full responsibility for something that was someone else's fault. Where you can do both. You go, I take full responsibility. It was him, but I do take, and because then you're like, what? A
I mean,
hero.
that's actually, yeah, that's pretty much how I feel.
Oh man, I hope I get to do that one day.
Is there anything in your life that you're having issues with that I could help you with?
Ooh, I don't know. Well, here's something. Since COVID, I'm sure this is the most common mental, because I think about it all the time. Most people are physically ill in some way. They have some sort of ailment,
Yeah.
some sort of unhealthiness. They're overweight, or their back hurts, or you have a bad knee. There's some
Americans.
physical problem
Yeah.
with you. and
Yeah, a lot of
probably.
fatties. A lot of big fatties.
You maybe have bad allergies. You got your eyes don't work great.
I'm allergic to dust.
Yeah, I had the same thing. I used to have those plastic sheets, like a weirdo.
Oh, I never did that.
But yeah, I had really bad allergies to everything. But I also think as many people who are physically unfit in whatever way, I think as many people are mentally ill. Maybe not debilitatingly, but you
Especially
have
here
some
in
problem.
LA, right?
Yes.
Lot
for sure in
of
LA.
crazies
A lot of
out here.
crazies. And I have had a thing after COVID, like coming back, that is like, I still think of myself as an extrovert, but the pendulum has swung. Like sometimes I will be out and about with a group, which I almost
Thanks for the
never
invite.
found draining.
Thanks for inviting us, me. Thought we connected.
Maybe that's what it is.
Oh, sorry, continue.
But
I made it about me,
I even sometimes I'll be out and about with people I love, and
but not me.
I can't have fun the whole time. Like I'll be like after an hour or so, or two, but like that thing, or maybe it's also just getting older. But like I'll find myself being like, that's enough of that. You know,
I've had that my whole life.
yeah. Well, that was recent for me. Before COVID, I was like, let's watch the sun come up.
Let's party.
Yeah, let's talk about your uncle till 4 a.m. Let's
Maybe it's your energy levels.
maybe.
Do you
but-
masturbate a lot?
No.
Do you drink coffee?
I would say about half the days of the month I'm drinking coffee.
Maybe it's that. Maybe it's low energy.
But I
You're
stopped
tired.
drinking coffee after noon. So noon hits, I can't have any more caffeine, so that I go to bed. But maybe that's part of it too. I don't have caffeine after noon, so I just get tired at around 11
Or maybe
o'clock
it's
at
because
night.
you love your girl so much that you're like, I just want to go back with my love of my life and just go.
Well, that's a
go to
positive
bed.
spin.
Yeah.
But I still like friends. I don't
But you know
have
what's better than friends?
what?
The love of your life.
Well, that's a good point.
Think about this. If Dave Ross, your podcast host, was
Yeah.
falling off a cliff and your girl was falling off a cliff, who are you going to try and save?
Ooh.
You're going to try and save that puss. Dave Ross doesn't give you that. She gives you things Dave Ross could never give you.
Or this situation where they're both falling off a cliff at the same
Oh,
time.
it's a classic situation.
Me,
Been
my
in
girlfriend,
movies,
and my-
movies, villain movies since the early 90s.
They're both falling off a cliff, and I have a gun to my head, probably as well. This is just a crazy day.
You only got time for one.
Wow.
You can either let them both die or pick one.
I do think Dave would understand, you know? He'd
Not
be
in that
like-
moment. In
He'd
that
be, I
moment,
mean-
he'd feel
but-
very torn apart. As he's dying,
Yeah.
he'd really be hurt.
But I would understand if me and Dave's girlfriend are falling off a cliff and he saves her. I mean, my last thought would be, yeah, I get it.
I'd want someone to save their girlfriend over me.
Yeah, because then it's like the rest of my life, I owe my life to him, and
Yeah,
he's
then they're
sitting
a
there
hero.
crippled with guilt that he watched his girlfriend fall so that his podcast could keep growing.
It's true. It would be good for the numbers. My number one goal in life, more than becoming a headliner, comedian, all those bullshit goals, I want to die a hero.
Like, who do you consider to have done that? To have died a hero?
James Bond in the new Bond movie. Did you watch the newest one?
Yeah.
Yeah, he died a hero.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. So, who has existed?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler.
They killed Bond. It's
Look
pretty
out for
unbelievable.
that.
It's pretty freaking absurd to
But
kill James Bond. You never kill Bond. They did it.
But who that's existed? Are you like, wow, no, that's a
What do you
life.
mean?
They
You
died
don't
a
think
hero.
He existed?
I mean, I know he was based on an actual British spy, but
He was? I didn't even know that.
yeah, but I mean, I imagine that if British spies are probably historically not the best dudes.
Why?
I don't know.
They're heroes.
England
They're going
did,
out risking their life for their country.
England did
They're
as
probably
much
really
evil
good
around the
dudes.
world as anyone has ever done as a nation.
Yeah, but not James Bond.
Well, I think you're whitewashing a little history there.
think.
I bet he did some shit in Russia that was fucked up.
You are just trying to push buttons right now. You know Bond's a great guy.
I mean,
You've seen the movies.
he's certainly not emotionally available.
Yeah, because so many women have hurt him because because he was emotionally available, and then they broke his little heart.
I've never
His
seen him
big
look
heart.
particularly heartbroken.
Are you have you never seen James Bond?
I've seen a bunch of them.
He gets his heart broken in every movie.
Well, maybe, but I mean, it's usually a lady he's known for 3 days. And they're,
Yeah, you've never fallen in love with a lady after 3 days?
Oh, come on.
I thought you were a God-loving man. I fall in love with women after 1 minute. I fall in love with women I've never met. I fall in love with women I've heard about.
Who was your first crush? Celebrity crush?
Britney Spears.
Britney Spears. Wow, I
Yeah.
bet you've been having a crazy year.
But I don't have a crush on her anymore. But back in the day,
she's out and about now.
she was smoking. You remember Britney in the 90s? Or I think it was the 90s or early 2000s. When was that? I think 90s.
Yeah.
She was a babe.
Well, when I was in 3rd grade and she was 18, I remember being like,
Yeah.
whoa. But now that I look back, I'm like, if you were 30 and you were like, thought she was hot in the
She
90s.
was hot.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, that album cover, she's like a little girl. It's
Oh,
just weird
the
to me.
schoolgirl album cover?
Yeah, and it's like dudes are.
She's hot, though. And then there.
But I'm glad I was younger than
shame
her
a
when
man
she
for
came out.
loving 18-year-old Britney.
Well, I could shame them if they're 30 and they love 18-year-old Britney.
I agree to disagree. I'm
Oh, come
32
on.
right now, and I look at a picture of 18-year-old Britney, and I'm like, wowzers. She is a beautiful lady. She is a beautiful girl.
I think that's a nice young lady, but like I think she looks better now than when she was.
She looks horrible now.
What?
Sorry, Brittany. I love
She
you.
looks great
You're
now.
my first crush. You didn't.
She's
no.
radiant
okay,
with
I take it
freedom
back.
now.
Horrible. I'm being harsh. She doesn't look horrible now. She's a beautiful mom, but she's
Beautiful mom.
I wouldn't date her right now.
You would not date Britney Spears.
I would for the clout, but not for.
Oh.
I wouldn't, generally speaking.
What do you think she listens to the podcast? Because now she has access to Spotify.
She has the freedom to now.
Now she has her own Spotify account.
If I were to guess, if there was a gun in my head saying, "Does Britney listen?" I would guess no.
So if 18-year-old Britney Spears and current Britney Spears are falling off a cliff,
I'd save 18-year-old. For one, she has more life left to live.
you're gonna make her go through the conservatory again?
Number two, no, I know now to prevent that from happening.
Okay.
And to raise her as my own.
Well, now
And
you're
to
Woody
also-
Allen. Now you're helping this young lady. You're like, hey, stay away, Dad.
No, Woody Allen, she was a minor. This girl's 18. I'm allowed to do whatever I want.
Oh,
with her.
18 is still a kid. That's still a little kid. You ever talk to one? They're dumb as shit.
I agree that they're immature and naive at 18, but they're not little kids.
I don't know.
They like sex.
They just got done being a kid, though.
18-year-olds like sex.
Yeah, well, when I was 7, I was like, I can't wait to have sex.
I didn't.
When you were 7?
No. When I was
Oh.
7, I probably didn't even know what sex was.
Oh,
And
I
if
knew
I
what it
did, I
was.
thought it was icky.
I couldn't wait to find out. That was when Bill Clinton got impeached, and I was like, I can't wait.
I was listening to the Kid Rock concert at, what's the one? What's that big concert he did?
Woodstock 99.
Woodstock
Yeah,
99.
I know the
And-
clip you're talking about.
And he's like, Monica Lewinsky is a hoe and Bill Clinton is a PIMP. Or he might say pimp.
he screams it,
Yeah.
and the crowd goes
Nuts.
insane.
Yeah, the crowd's like, yeah.
And this is like after Bawata Tabata.
Yeah,
it's
Bawata
like,
Ba.
what the fuck?
It was awesome.
Hey.
Even listening now, I'm like, that guy's an edgelord.
Oh, man. And then he says it like, he's been working this out all week.
Oh, yeah, he's done it every concert.
And he's like, oh, yeah. And after,
He did that the whole tour. Every concert after Ba with the Ba, he'd be like, Monica Lewinsky is a hoe and Bill Clinton is a pimp.
And it worked so, it was like, it's so wild to me that everyone alive felt that. Well, not everyone, but that seemed to be the popular opinion at the
If
time.
I did that at a stand-up show,
Oh, my God.
do you think that people would understand the reference? Or do you think that if a comic heard me do it and they heard the Kid Rock thing, they would accuse me of stealing?
I would consider that a loving
Or
tribute.
is it like a throwback?
Yeah, that's a
Because
funny
I
thing to
kind
say.
of would like to do that at one of the shows. Just be like, you know what I think? Monica Lewinsky is a hoe and Bill Clinton is a motherfucking pimp. And try and get the crowd to go crazy for it.
Oh, man, you would get that. That would get.
They either would go crazy or they would look at me like, what are you
You should do
talking
this
about?
just so you can juxtapose the videos. Like have the Kid Rock one, and then,
Oh,
then
that's
have
such a
you
good
say
idea,
it
yes.
at like the Improv, and somebody
To
throws a drink at your
silence.
head.
Yeah. Someone goes, boo.
Yeah, dude, you will get. There's nothing that the opinion on has shifted harder than that. Everyone loves Monica Lewinsky now, and
Do they?
dude, yes, she's killing it on Twitter.
Do you agree with that, Tommy? Does everyone love Monica Lewinsky now?
I'd say it's 50-50.
I don't. I still think Monica Lewinsky is kind of just known as the girl who got cummed on by Bill Clinton.
Yeah, but what's so bad about that?
I don't know that bad is the word, but
I
it's
bet
not
she has
good.
a higher approval rating than Hillary Clinton. I bet you poll
That's a
them
good
both
point.
right now. I
That's a
bet
good point.
She'd probably win. I bet she polls higher than Kamala Harris, AOC.
I like it better than all those people.
Yeah,
but
that's why I think she'll win.
is she running for president?
What if she runs?
She's not running.
Hey,
And she won't win.
She's lived a life. I'll give her a vote just because I feel bad
We
about.
all know who's going to be the next president, and that is Donald Trump.
Yeah, that's true.
Donald J. Trump.
Boy, and that's gonna really melt everybody's. Everybody thought they had a break. I mean, it's like a
I don't
horror
think,
movie.
I don't think he'll actually win, but I think
You know, in
He'll
Die
come
Hard, when that
close.
guy comes out and you're like, he's not dead.
it's probably. Think about this. It's probably going to be Trump versus Kamala the next election, right?
Oh, what a horrible idea.
Is that what you think it's gonna? That's realistically, isn't that what it's gonna be?
I hope it's not Kamala.
I do too, but it's probably her, right? Who
I
else?
think it'll be Trump too.
Right? If Trump wants to run, they're not going to say no to him this time, and and he's already said he wants to.
What the Democrats should do is Biden and Kamala should both step down, and the Democrats should nominate a Republican. Just someone who's to the left or more center than Trump. If they ran Mitt Romney, all the Democrats would be like, well, shit, I guess we got to vote for Mitt Romney.
yeah,
But that would be actually a good, and that's also what Democrats like to do. They like to do that anyway. So
yeah.
they'd
There's a lot
probably
of
do it.
switching sides.
Yeah,
I'd switch right now
I'm switching.
for the love of my life.
Dude, I would do anything
For your
the love of
girlfriend's
my
friend, if your girlfriend set me up with one of her friends, I'd become a Democrat right now. I mean that. For 18-year-old Brittany, I'd switch sides in a heartbeat. Freaking give her whatever she wants. She could have the keys to my house, my bank account information, my social security number.
life. Wow.
All she's got to do is love me.
Hey, I don't know. That sounds like a good song. All she's got to do is love me. I mean, you should go with it.
And then after, go, Monica Lewinsky is a hoe. Bill Clinton is a motherfucking pimp.
So how is that bad? Like, if Bill Clinton's a pimp, what's so wrong with her being like, yeah, he's a pimp, I like him? Like, it's so weird that
Who, Monica?
to think like, oh, Bill Clinton's the shit and she sucks,
I think he
but
was
he's
saying,
a pimp. But the
I
pimp,
think he was. I don't think he actually was saying she sucks. I think he was just more calling him a pimp.
I guess.
I don't think calling a girl a hoe is bad anymore.
Well, yeah, everybody's very positive
Yeah,
and
we're
sex
pro.
positive and
In
all
LA,
that.
everyone's pro hoe.
Oh yeah, people are all
At least they pretend to
polyamorous
be.
and yeah.
Do you know any polyamorous people? I don't actually know any. I keep hearing about them.
I think a lot of people aren't as open about it, but I think a lot of people are doing it out here. you
I
know?
tried that app, Field, the threesome app.
Oh boy.
I don't get any matches.
No, it seems.
work.
What are the odds?
It's like, who is this working for? Just chicks, I think.
Yeah, they'll just like life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough.
Before the electricity and you're a woman, you could find a threesome in your town.
It is freaking tough, dude.
Yeah. It's hard out here to be a guy.
Tommy, do you have any questions for our guest?
Oh, sorry.
You don't have to. I'm just saying if you did before we wrap it up. He's got a place to be.
When's the wedding?
When's the wedding?
Are you engaged?
No.
No. When's the engagement?
Who knows? Maybe the next election.
That's coming up.
We're gonna the second the electoral college tallies those votes. Well, yeah,
That's
maybe
not that
then.
far away, right? What is that? A year or two?
I don't know.
How long
It feels
has
like
Biden
it's
been
already
out there?
starting. It feels
Biden's
like
been out there,
forever.
what, 2 or 3 years at this point?
Wait, no, it's only been one.
He's only been there 1 year?
Less than a year.
Really?
Yeah,
Biden's been president less than a year?
less than a year.
Damn.
Feels like he's been
I have
president
no
for
gauge of
a
time.
long time.
Yeah, I think it's just because he's so old.
Yeah, it feels like long listening to him.
I can't listen to him.
It's sad. It
have
hurts
to
my
shut it
feelings. You know, feels like watching your grandpa fall
Your
down.
great grandpa
Yeah.
fall down.
Yeah,
I think he's older than what my grandpa would be if he was alive.
yeah. Well, when my granddad was alive, he never looked like that, and he never,
Yeah.
he never.
I'd kick him. No, I wouldn't. He seems nice.
Was it Shane Gillis's bit where he's like, Biden's the first president you could punch, assassinate?
I never heard that. That's good.
Yeah, he wouldn't even.
You could.
Yeah,
Or you could just sneeze on him.
yeah. It doesn't seem hard. Poor guy.
Anything you want to plug? We plugged your podcast.
Yeah. Oh yeah, my Twitter.
Oh yeah, what happened with your Twitter? Because
So I impersonated.
It?
I was when Biden was running before he was the nominee. When it was just those debates and he was saying like ridiculous shit. I changed my picture to his face and my handle to his name, and I was
And
just
they deleted you for it?
tweeting things as him,
Right.
Which I used to do with Trump all the time. And I just thought it was a comedian thing. Like we're allowed to impersonate, but apparently that's against the. So I got my account.
Got it. That same exact
Permanently
thing happened
suspended.
to Jamar Neighbors.
Yes, and so I learned that lesson. So I'm having to start over on Twitter. So follow me at DumbCaleb.
Because you had a lot of followers before.
It was going great.
What'd you have? 11K?
I was
30K?
I was at about 10. I was about to hit 10, and then I went back
what's
to
your new
0.
one at?
At DumbCaleb. It's like at 1,300 now.
That's
no
pretty
one
good.
knows it's there.
Pretty good.
So yeah, give me a follow. Help me get back, and I'll never make fun of anybody again.
Dumb Caleb's going to be a big star, and you heard him here
I'm gonna
first.
try.
Some of you probably heard him here right for the very first time.
Hey, I'm glad to meet you. I love you.
Before this, they didn't know who you were, and now probably 3 to 6 people are like, I know that guy.
That's all I need.
3 to,
That's all I need.
yeah, a lot of people. Okay, God bless you. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
See ya.
Have a good one.
You're listening to
Unlicensed therapy with Ari Mannis.
Unlicensed Therapy with Ari Mannis.